and welcome back to our kitchen.
Hello, my name is Barbara.
I'm Eula.
And we are going to help you create today a heart healthy beet hummus. It's still February. February is all about heart health, and we want to make sure we give you several options. So if you're a lover of something pungent, we will give you one option how to make it. If you don't want a dairy in this entire recipe, we'll give you an option. And then if you are dairy friendly, we'll give you another creamy option how to make a beet hummus, because there's always a different, healthier way to prepare your food at home.
Exactly. That's how we're doing it. So first things first, we have a couple of nice ingredients here. We have cooked beets. We do have tofu because we're wanting to make it a little more healthier and skip the cream cheese, which is part of the original recipe.
Yes.
You could also do it with chickpeas that are like the canned chickpeas that are already cooked. So whatever you prefer, there is variety available. Then we do have, what's it called? The sesame seed and walnuts. They have been toasted in the Thermomix already. Just to save us a little time, and then we have some stale bread that is this one here, and it's not the type of bread that you usually get here to buy here in the supermarkets in the States. It's a German/European rye bread that only consists of two different types of rye flour, dark and light, water and sea salt. That's it, and it's all homemade and very healthy for you, good for your digestive system, great for just having like a real substantial bread with your meals. And yeah, so
instead of empty calories, right?
Empty calories, yes. And then we do have some garlic cloves and olive oil, lemon juice, salt and pepper, and that's basically it. And I think we should just get started.
Yeah, absolutely. The one I want to make sure as you are going, Jewel, into our recipe, like she mentioned, we are substituting the cream cheese. We're making it dairy-free with tofu. And we will make not a pungent version. Pungent version would be you would add maybe horseradish into your beets. Fantastic taste. But we will make two versions, one dairy-free and one more sweet, where we're going to add pomegranate, super heart healthy.
Yep. So we'll take the same recipe and just basically we're emptying the mixing bowl half with the original recipe, and then we're adding on the pomegranates for the second batch, mixing it in real quick, and then we have a second variety.
Yeah, a little bit sweet.
Yep.
A little bit more plain.
Exactly. All right, so now we have, I roasted those walnuts and sesame seeds for 10 minutes in the Thermomix. And now I did let them cool for 15 minutes because, as you might know, things get really hot when you start toasting. So I'm just pouring them back in, putting the lid on top. And then it's going to be grinded within 12 seconds. And it's going to be the highest setting, speed 10. Alright, and I will show you how this looks. Because with this setting on that highest speed, you can turn sugar into powdered sugar, you can turn almonds into almond flour. And we kind of did like a walnut flour.
Yeah, technically. It's
right?
super grinded, very fine.
And it smells amazing, like the toasted sesame seeds and the walnuts. It's like it has that nutty flavor, and just, I love it. Smells really delicious. All right, next step is coming up. We already scraped down the insides, and then we're adding this back on top. And now for speed 8, because the friction creates heat, so usually what happens is the walnuts kind of stick together a little bit, so we're just mixing it a little bit again on a lower speed just to make sure that we don't have any clumps. That's it. I'll show you what that looks like.
And I guess, Joel, if somebody wants more crunchy, right, and they exactly are looking for something that we're trying to get rid of here, then change the speed, right?
Right, you can change it. It depends on, like you said, the consistency. If you want it really creamy, This will definitely, help with the texture overall to have it as finely ground. But you can also reduce the time and the speed, so it's variable. There is like manual modes that you can use it for, just to bring it to the consistency that you really like. We did scrape down the insides. All right, and did we do this again? Or we'll do it again. I'm going to say, I think it almost gets to the point where, because it creates that friction and heat, you want to create a paste.
Yeah, so it will be
type
very
of
creamy,
a consistency.
right? Yeah.
So you can see
Super
that there's
creamy.
like the oils from the walnuts coming out, and that basically, if you were to take it,
Yeah.
like you see, it sticks. So
It's almost like tahini. It
kind
looks
of like,
yeah.
I think it imitates the tahini. So we just scrape it down.
Yeah, I love it with the tofu. It will go so well.
This will be good. And I did once make a tofu artichoke dip, which was also super yummy. People were thinking it was actual cheese, like it had cheese, but it was tofu, so no one knew. I didn't tell anyone.
And they probably all felt better anyhow.
Exactly. Yes, so next step now is we're going to add the cooked beets into the mixing bowl, and it calls for 10.5 ounces. And because Thermomix measures for you, you don't have to weigh your ingredients before. We sometimes do just, for showing it to you so that it's easier to do. But in general, it's all
we
good.
have around, yeah,
And that's almost perfect. And even if you don't have the exact amount, the Thermomix will still work. It will still do the recipe. So there's nothing to worry about. And then it was too quick. We're adding now the tofu instead of the cream cheese.
I think it's 3 ounces, yeah?
3 ounces there, and we just tear it out so that it's all set to 0 before we do that. Yep. And we used firm tofu. That is probably best just to, get a really good consistency.
Thicker, yeah.
Thicker. If you want it a little bit more liquidy, you can also do softer tofu, whatever you like. And then we're adding the garlic cloves. I continuously want to move on, but I'm just going to open up the top. Garlic, and then 1 ounce of the stale bread, which is this, and I'm just going to cut this into a couple of pieces here. To see.
Yeah, I think it will be very little.
Yeah, it says approximately 1 slice, so depending how thick your slices usually are, that can be more or less, but this is 1 ounce right there. And then it asks for ground cumin. If you don't like cumin, you can leave it out. We're going to leave it out because we will use the pomegranate seeds, and that might at the end be a little bit, controversial. So we're leaving the cumin out for now. And then we're adding 1/2 ounce of lemon juice.
Yeah, but because we also have our olive oil with lemon juice, we'll go easy on the lemon, right?
Yes.
Not to have it too citrusy or
Right.
acidic.
I'll just do like maybe
Perfect, I think.
Yeah.
0.3.
0.3 ounces of lemon juice. You can also use freshly squeezed lemon juice, whatever you have available will do. And now we're doing a dash of salt. It says 1/4 teaspoon. I don't like to measure in teaspoons because on the salt specifically, I'm like, this is more of like your grandma. She's like, a dash of this and a dash of that.
And a little bit of this.
And a little bit of that. And then she can never tell you how she created the recipe because it's all just a dash of this. And then we're adding a little bit of black pepper. And you can add more or less depending on how spicy you want it. And now we're adding in the cup again. And for 15 seconds, we're going to be mixing everything together, blending it. Let's take a look. So now we have the beets in there, the paste with the almonds and the sesame seeds, the tofu, the garlic, the bread, and it's already partly blended. So we're just going to scrape down And it's a nice thick consistency, and I think once the remaining beets and bread is kind of blended in.
Yes.
So this is how it looks like when I scraped it down. Yep, I'm just going to do the same thing one more time. It's working. You can hear it chopping. So now when you don't hear the chopping sound anymore, that's when it's usually ready. Unless we're going to scrape one more time. Let's see. Oops.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go. And the color is
Fantastic.
Valentine's red. I know Valentine's Day is behind us, but still.
That's okay. It's never a bad time to eat healthy for your heart health, right?
Right. This smells delicious. Wow.
You really can smell like every ingredient in it.
So this is the consistency. It sticks.
Very thicky.
So it's very good for dipping, you know, if you have like crackers or even the stale bread, you can use that for dipping too.
Why don't we take some of it and then use some of it with the pomegranate, yeah?
And then you can adjust seasoning like always to your liking. So if you taste it now and you feel like it needs more salt, pepper or anything, you can always do that and just...
Yeah, and again, like I've mentioned, more pungent, add horseradish, right? If you don't want that, you can always also, if you want it more creamy, a plant-based yogurt could be an ideal option to add more protein and make it more creamy, right? There's always a way to make it thicker or more creamier.
Right, and you saw I just put in the pomegranate seeds. I did not measure. Like you can also just go by your eye, like what you think works best. And then I'm just going to scrape this one here.
And beets and pomegranate are perfect to antioxidants to blend together for heart health. There are, some people may say, yes, beets are sugary, but beet juice is sugary because you need a lot of beets to juice it. But beets in itself, you cannot eat really, 3 pounds of the beets. It will be very hard. So to make a hummus of it, it's a perfect way to really grind not a big amount and get a valuable snack or a meal out of it. With a really low sugar and super important antioxidants that are healthy for the entire body, not just our heart health.
Right, absolutely. So now I've just went back a couple steps to where we're blending everything, and we're just going to do this again with the pomegranate seeds, 15 seconds. Okay, let's see how that looks.
Bloody. Not much, right? But
Yeah,
I mean, I
think
think
the
the
beet,
difference.
the beet is pretty intense. You can smell the sweetness though, like you can definitely tell that there is more of a fruit inside, and it still has a little bit of the seeds. So if you really wanna
Grind it more.
you could probably do this beforehand and then just set them aside until the beets and the tofu or cream cheese, whatever you're using, has
Blend it
been
together.
blended, and then just add it at the last step. But yeah, I think we did a really good heart healthy recipe here.
Yeah.
Nice.
You couldn't really tell by looking what it really is, right?
We can identify.
Yeah, we can.
This was the one with this, so let's just
Yeah.
put those on top so you can kind of tell that this is the pomegranate one.
And again, we use celery, very good for heart. Plenty of the natural nitrate, which is heart healthy vegetable. Carrots a little bit less, more sugary. So be careful, be aware of what vegetables you use to dip it in. And of course, any vegetable is going to be better than bread.
But this
or
bread is
crackers.
actually really good.
But our choice, it's a homemade, healthy.
Right.
Also, as we've shared with you previously, we've made collagen bread, right? So there are ways to make your bread very, very healthy. And in that case, you don't have to think twice and just dip in and enjoy it.
Right, and then you just top it with the olive oil. and you can use regular. This one has a little bit of a lemon flavor to it. Make sure whenever you get flavored oils that they are using natural ingredients and no artificial flavorings. So she's dipping in, and let's see what she says.
I'm going for the sweeter one.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing.
Is it good?
Oh my god.
Now I gotta try.
Like,
I'll take the bread.
I can eat this
And I try the other one.
all day long.
If you hate beets, you have to try this because I think it's the tofu together with the lemon oil totally takes away that earthiness that beets usually have. The texture is really creamy. Like not as creamy as hummus because I like real hummus where you use the chickpeas, but it's still like very soft, very airy, fresh. I don't know. It's
And
really...
you can taste the garlic as well, can you? And we only add 1.5 maybe cloves,
Yeah,
right?
1.5.
So, but now imagine if we add a little bit of a horseradish, right?
That's a nice kick.
But not too much because it will be overwhelming.
Maybe even ginger. I could see that too.
It could go really well.
Yeah. So there's tons of
Options.
ways to two options. Tons of ways to bring variety to dishes that or recipes that you have in front of you. And just don't be afraid. It's always good to experiment and try new things.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think this is a new favorite that will be
I absolutely
enjoyed a lot.
I know some people will be annoyed by our double dipping, but I don't really care because it's just us.
All right, you
Cheers
guys.
to you.
Cheers to you. Have a healthy rest of the month, and we shall be seeing you soon.